Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Jones, and I'm so glad you decided to join me today because I'm going to talk about a topic that is really important. That is how to study. Now, I know many of you out there are thinking about how to study because students don't learn how to study in most of their schools. And so I thought it would be important to get this started and give you some ideas of what you can do to study effectively. One of the first things that you can do is get into a good study environment. Make sure it's an environment that's clear, there's no paper and confusion all around the room where you're studying. If there's a desk available, make sure that you sit at a desk, but make sure that there's enough information there that as you're ready to study, you'll be able to organize it and use it to your advantage. And really, that's the next point. Make sure that you get organized. Make sure that you have all of the materials that you'll need at the time that you're studying. Your textbooks, make sure that you have additional notes that you may have taken in class. If you have back tests, go over the tests. So be in a place in an environment where you'll not be distracted. I know many of you have brothers and sisters who may be out there who can serve as distractions to you. So I want to make sure that you are organized in such a way that you can actually study and learn and memorize the material that is important to you. The other thing, the next thing that you need to do is to study your textbook. So not just studying the textbook by opening it and reading the chapter, but with a purpose. How are you going to learn from the textbook? Make sure that you're writing notes as you're going through the textbook. Get a separate book and actually write notes per chapter that you want to learn and review. There's some things there in the book that you can do to really get good information as you're preparing for a test. So write down, for example, an outline. Answer all the questions. Answer the questions that are provided by the instructor, but also answer the questions that are not asked by the instructor so that you will be prepared. I found that sometimes instructors actually will take the odd questions that weren't asked for homework and put them on examination just to see if you are willing to go to the extra effort that you need to do. Make sure that you memorize important terms that are in your textbook. There may be some terms that you don't know, so have a dictionary nearby or look in the back of your book and you'll find some information there as well. So you want to be organized. You want to have a textbook that you've read. Go to class having read the textbook already. What some students do is they wait till after they go into class to read the textbook. Well, I want you to read the textbook before you go to class so you have some things in your mind, some things to think about as you're preparing for the class and as you're answering questions with the teacher that's involved in your class. Next, make sure that you have good notes. You go into class, take good notes, write your notes, and actually leave space so that you can make changes as you're sitting down and you're reviewing your notes. Also, you might want to call a friend and review your notes with them. They'll give you good information and you can exchange ideas back and forth. You can ask each other questions. So there's a lot that you can do with your notes. You can kind of create outlines so that when you're studying for a quiz or a test, you can go over the outlines and make sure that you really know what's going on the test. So these are some techniques that are really important as you're thinking about your notes. Make sure that you have, if you can get back notes from someone else who's already taken the class, that's even important for you because it'll give you more information that you need in order to prepare for your next test. Then learning how to study is the application of it. How do you memorize the material? You can use 3x5 cards. You could use different color cards to memorize the material, and it'll be really exciting because you can have other people exchange your cards. They can ask you questions and you can answer those questions so you'll know that you really know it. Memorizing material also, you might want to put it into a song. I know that sounds kind of silly, but putting things into a song or a crazy poem is a great way to memorize material. So you want to try to do that as a resource for yourself. And then form study groups. A lot of students who are in K-12 schools, middle schools, high schools, don't organize study groups. So study groups are really important because you find out information that you may not have had in your notes or you don't have in your textbook. So you want to have that as well as making sure that each one of the individuals coming to study group has done the assignments that you worked on, or you may have certain questions that you want the study group to answer. So make sure that you have a plan as you're organizing a study group. That's really important. A lot of students don't do this. They don't have a study group and they miss out on important information as they're preparing for the test. Then get prepared for your test throughout the semester. Don't wait until the test comes up the night before. Study 4 or 5 nights before you actually have the examination. It's important to have a plan that you're going to follow as you're preparing for each test. You'll be organized, you'll know what to do, you know where to go, and you'll have the resources that you need to be successful on that test. Then I always say there's a lot of things that you can do as you're working with the teacher. Make sure that you meet with the teacher or your instructor throughout the semester. Don't wait until the exam comes around. You want to form a relationship with your instructor that shows that you're really excited about what you're learning, that you're picking up information. You can ask them questions as they're getting ready for the examination itself. Sometimes they'll open up to and share with you. Stay after class. Ask questions after class. That's a good way to clarify things that you didn't pick up in your notes. Also, arrive to class on time. Instructors do pay attention to those who arrive on time. And there may be some questions that you could ask actually before the examination starts. So I think that that's really, really important. Also, have a review of your tests. Have a review time. Have an organized time where you're going to actually review for each test. And you might have 2 or 3 each week. Sometimes it gets really, really challenging because you have more than one test. So the more organized that you are, the better that you'll have a chance to have success. Now, how to study means that you have a focus and you have a goal to succeed in a class. So that's the important thing, that you not allow people to distract you as you're about to study. So have a set time throughout the week that you're going to study, that you're not going to answer phone calls or text message, or you're not going to be on the computer. You're going to actually focus on what you're trying to learn. Then use technology to your advantage. There's a lot of technology. There's iPods out there. There's iPads. There's books online. There's all kinds of study resources that you can get as you're using your computer. You can download things onto your iPod, and you can listen to it any time of the day. You can record things on a digital recorder while you're in class. Use the technology to your advantage. There are books, audio books. You can get audio books and you can listen to them while you're reading it. It will help to reinforce and increase your memory. So it's really important to use those technology resources today, because so much of that is going on. Handing in papers that are assigned online and making sure that they're accurate, and doing all projects well, and being organized. So I think these are some of the things that are really important in terms of how you study, how you get organized, how you actually have a plan that you're going to follow. And if you want to have success, I want to say to you, be a motivated student. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't procrastinate. Make sure that you're organized. Make sure you have a good study environment, and you will succeed. Have a wonderful time. I want you to check out my website, which has additional information, articles, and resources for you. It's www.7books.net. That's SEVENBOOKS.net. And you'll have a wonderful time. You will learn how to study and have a successful day.